I'll be going straight on and turning off to go to Runcorn.
Yeah.
Will you get off at the Helsby one, will you?
Yeah.
Right, just wave and go. Yeah.
Sounds good.
I'll talk to you again.
Nice one.
Right then, let's see if this microphone is working this time when it wasn't before, eh? At least it's not raining this time. Well, that was a bit of a shortcut. Wasn't the way my sat-nav was telling me to go, let's put it that way. When I say get going, you know, 60 mile an hour. So, let's go. See if you can hear clearly what it is that I'm saying. I'm not shouting. I'm not having to raise my voice or anything like that. Whoa, cows! Waiting to cross the road. Woohoo! Wouldn't try to go about doing that. Let's enjoy the ride, eh? We've just been to Llyn Brennig. I'm not supposed to have a cup breakfast really, but I did. And Pete isn't supposed to have a cup breakfast either, really, so we didn't. Good to see he takes the diet seriously, to be fair. I do my best and I'm doing alright. I've got my blood glucose levels down really, really low. And I should be good for my next test. All down to the Libre 2. Makes it very, very easy to see what's going on. But I fancied the cup breakfast, so I had it. Give myself a slapped wrist when I get home. Last I saw it on the Libre, I was in the green. Cup breakfast would usually leave me in the green, but there was toast, sausages, which usually aren't so good, black pudding, which isn't helpful, and a hash brown, which may not be helpful, but we'll see. Oh, 450 yards, we've got a right turn coming up. $210 yards. Let's have a look at it. Somebody's front garden, not going into that one, but we are going to go into this one. Well, I was hoping no single track, but oh, ooh, that hurt. Let's get the visor up so I can see what's going on. There's proper tarmac so far, so I'll apologise to Pete when I see him, or when I next speak to him. At this rate it might be some time away. Although I have to say I didn't promise him no single track roads. It's not as bad as some he's been down, so we should be okay. At least there is proper tarmac either side of the green. So long as I stay on the tarmac I'll be fine. I will risk it and say there's no gravel, which would make it a whole lot harder. Does hurt your hands a bit sometimes. Bear in mind it is like early in the season, so still not used to hanging onto handlebars, and this is my first time doing more than a 30-mile ride and more than an hour out, so give way. What am I giving way to? Ah, that's it, there it is. And then we're going down there, okay. Whoa! Hello, matey. Is Pete still there? Good job I waited. Looks like you wouldn't have known a turn down here. Middle this time, but it is a bit of gravel down the middle, so I can never make up my mind which is worse, bouncing over grass or bouncing over gravel.
So I'm going to talk about some new stuff that I've bought. 3 items, really. A helmet, a jacket, and a pair of boots. Now, I only went into J&S to buy a snood for my mate for Christmas. And I went in, the snoods were by the door, picked one up, 15 quid. And I thought, well, while I'm here, so I had a little walk around and sort of, I don't know, what kind of a purchase they call it when you just go and do it off the cuff. I bought the RST jacket, which I'll come to later. That wasn't enough, was it? I had to go and take a wander around the rest of the shop as well. I was looking at maybe getting a pair of Dainese trousers or something like that, but on my way round in a completely different part of the shop, I came across a pair of boots. So I bought those as well. I'll talk about those later on as well. But for the moment, let's talk about this helmet. Right, let's start at the top, eh? So what it is, it's the Schuberth C5. It cost me a couple of pounds shy of £560. And the first thing I noticed about it when I got it home was just how light it was. Seriously, really, really light. It was as if there was no weight in it at all. My old helmet, the Frank Thomas, weighed £1 more. You wouldn't think that's much, but you could tell, you could really feel the difference. I weighed it came in at 1,590 grams. They say roughly about 1,640, so I'm about 50 grams below that. On my first ride with it, closed everything up and off we went, and I thought, wow, it's claustrophobic in here. I've felt that way before about crash helmets, and all you have to do is just get on with it. It feels fine now. Doesn't feel like that at all. It does have space for an intercom. I haven't got one of those yet. And it is a flip-up helmet. Now, what I like about it, start with those first, apart from the weight, which I really do like, the sun visor is really good. It's got a nice slider on the left-hand side. It's easy to find, it's easy to push. When the sun visor comes down, it's about an inch or so away from touching my nose. Now, I've had sun visors in the past that have actually rested on my nose. It's really uncomfortable. This one doesn't, and I can actually see clear underneath it down to the dashboard. But it's right in my line of sight when I'm riding down the road. And I find that really, actually, a lot better than any others that I've had. Closing it and putting it back up is just a case of getting hold of the slider and pulling it forward. I have to reach ways back to find that. I didn't realise how far back it went, so it took me a go or two to figure it out. But it's actually really easy, really, really easy. The slider moves dead easy, no trouble at all. The other thing I like is it's set up for a comm kit. The speakers are in exactly the right place. They're already fitted, you don't need to do anything with them at all. On the microphone, it has a little cover. You take the cover off and clip the microphone in that comes with your comm kit. At the back of the helmet there's another cover that you can remove, and at the side another cover that you can remove. And I believe the one at the back is for the actual communication kit itself, and the one on the side is for the remote control. I like the vents on it. They are much more intuitive than others. I've got one on the front which you just push down above the red button, and that blows air through a sponge inside the helmet, and you can actually feel it coming through. Above it there's one for the visor. I wasn't really sure how that was working at first, you know, because when you press it down it opens at the top. I was like, that can't possibly work, but what I think it does, it sucks air in at the top, or blows air in at the top, and then blows it out through some vents inside the visor. It's inside the flip up itself, so it does work. I can confirm it does actually work. It just felt a little bit weird using it, but it does the job. Now at the top you've got another one, and there's two holes inside the helmet just above your forehead. And the padding inside forms like channels, so the air can come in and run past your head and then go out the back. That works. Again, I've tried it, and I can feel nice cool air blowing over the top of my head, and I like that. When it comes to, oh yeah, before I forget, it is quiet. It's below about 60 mile an hour. It's the quietest helmet I've ever used. Above, it's about the same as any other from what I can tell. So I'm going to have some of the similar problems with this, with microphones that I've had on other helmets. Once I get above 60, I'm probably going to lose clarity. Got an awful lot of wind noise coming through. I reckon if I can hear it, the microphone can pick it up. It's as simple as that. I like flip-up helmets anyway. Now this one, everything is kind of, when it comes to the flip up, it's a bit weird. The visor remembers where it was before you flip the helmet up. and it goes back to the same place when you pull the helmet back down again. One of the things I'm having problems with is there's a little red button, and you push the little red button and the front of the helmet flips up, except in my case it doesn't. I can push as hard as I like, it doesn't go anywhere. I can do it, I just need to put a finger on top of the slider for the front vent, and it'll lift. It'll come away no trouble. I can also lift the visor and put my hand on the top of the flip part of the helmet and press the red button, and it goes up, no trouble at all. I would have preferred it if I could just push that red button in. I have had a look on some sites to get some advice about it, and apparently it's the newness. And they recommend one of the things I should do is just open and close it 50 to 100 times and it'll settle. If that doesn't work, a little bit of light lubricant might loosen it all up. So I think that'll be alright in the long run. The other thing I find a bit tricky with it is that it's got a seal that goes under your chin. That is to sort of blow air away from the inside of the helmet, and it keeps it quiet. Makes it a little bit tricky pulling the flip up down, because now I've got to get that to go under my chin. So I've not only got to pull it down, but I've got to pull that so it goes under my chin. And I found it's alright if I do two fingers, just put it in over the top of the padding and pull down, and it'll go into place. It's fine. Just a little bit more awkward than I would have thought. I've also got underneath the chin strap there is another strap which velcros across, and I think that's to form a seal between the under chin padding and the clasp. Just makes things a little bit awkward sometimes, but that's about all really. Other than that, I'm liking it. Oh yeah, the only other thing I'd say about it is, talking to Pete, because this visor was steaming up while I was riding up in the rain. He said it shouldn't do that, and he asked me about the pin lock. I haven't got the pin lock insert in place. He has. He said I need to get one of those. I've checked, it's another 40 quid. So that's my helmet. I'll know more about it when I've wore it a lot longer and sort of used it a lot more. The next thing I bought, I mentioned that jacket, didn't I? The RST jacket. That's it, it's an impulse purchase. That's what it was. Little impulse purchase. I saw it there. I thought, oh, nice jacket. Half price. Airbags in it too. Because it was an impulse purchase, I hadn't done any research, so I didn't know that I needed to buy some extra kit for it to work. I'll come to that later. The first thing you notice about the jacket is how heavy it is. I weighed it, it's a little over £10. My Dainese jacket is just about £4, so it is an awful lot heavier. But that'll be because of the extra kit it's got in it. It's got all the airbags and everything in it. It's got a back protector. These are all things I've not had before. Feels comfortable when you wear it, and you don't really feel the weight when you're wearing it at all. It's got vents, so I've got them above the shoulders, a bit above the elbow, and across my chest. And they work. I've never had vents before, or at least I've never used vents before. On this jacket, I tried them, they work. You do get a nice decent flow of air across your chest. I haven't ever opened the rear vents. I'm not really sure how, not so much how they work. If I undo them, will the air blow all the way around the inside of the jacket to get out? I think it will, but I'm not sure. I'll let you know when I've tried it. The other thing I was never sure of is, will it be okay when it's raining? I imagine if you've unzipped them and it's raining, the rain's going to come through, but I'm not sure. It has 6 pockets around the front area. Probably best way to describe it. Either side, you've got a standard pocket. It's zipped and it folds over. The zip is just a little bit narrower than the pocket, and when I've tried it to put my hands in there wearing my gloves, it's a bit of a tight fit. Behind those pockets there is another one. There's a vertical zip behind the pocket. You push that down and it's got a fleece liner. Put your hands in there, it's nice and warm, but it is a bit of a tight fit. The other two pockets, at the front at least, are in the fleece. They're big. One of them doesn't have a zip, but the hole basically to get into the pocket is narrower than the pocket. So although the pocket may be big enough to hold something like an A5 book, say, you won't get it in because the entrance into the pocket isn't wide enough. There's another pocket on the other side of the jacket which is zipped, but it has the same issue. The zip is narrower than the pocket itself. So although the pocket will take an A5 document wallet, you won't get it in because the zip isn't wide enough. The only other pocket is on the back. They call it a map pocket. Now, I tried using this by putting a waterproof jacket in it and zipping it up. And I thought, right, let's try and undo that pocket while I'm wearing the jacket. And I really struggled to do it. I don't know what I'm going to do with that pocket, to be fair. If I have to take the jacket off to get the waterproof jacket out of the zipped pocket at the back, what's the point? It's going to be raining, I'm going to get wet. So stop using that. It is waterproof, really waterproof. It has a liner stitched into it all the way around everywhere that stops rain from coming through. And it's everywhere. You'll find it in some of the pockets, you'll find it in anything that's sort of likely to let water in. And it has at the front 2 zips. Normally you have 1 zip, don't you? You press stud across them. This one has 2 zips and it has flaps. So underneath the main zip there's a flap going across it. So when you pull the zip over to fasten it up, it's got that flap behind it. Once you zipped it up, there's another flap that you put over the top of it, and then you've got an outer zip, and you zip that all the way up. So what you've got, air to get through has got to go 1, 2, 3 turns before it actually gets inside the jacket. And I find that's actually quite good when I'm riding. I don't feel anything coming through that zip at all. Up to now, I've not really ridden it in pouring rain, so I don't actually really know what it's like. I've been out today and it was been raining, but it wasn't a real downpour, it was just your standard rain. It was good, nothing got through. Nothing at all. It's supposed to have a treatment on it, a chemical treatment. Do you know when you're on a long ride and you get really wet, it might not come through because of the waterproof layers that they've got in there, but the jacket itself soaks up all the water. A lot heavier then, isn't it? But they've put a chemical coating over it to stop it from doing that. So although it doesn't make it waterproof, it stops it from holding the moisture in. The other thing, of course, is if you take the fleece out, you've lost those 2 inner pockets. I usually like to use those inner pockets to put my glasses in when I'm filling up with fuel and wandering off into a cafe. If I've removed that, I won't have those 2 pockets. That's going to be a little bit inconvenient, I think. Back protector feels solid enough. And that then comes to the airbags. I wasn't really sure how those worked. I thought you got a lead to connect to the bike, and if you came off the bike, the lead pulled free and released air into your airbags. That's not really the way that it works. You have to buy or rent an inflator and clip it into the back of the back protector, and then you have to take out a subscription. The subscription is £12 a month, or £120 yearly if you go for that option. I've got it. You get an app with it as well. It tells you how many miles you've done, it tells you what the battery status is, all of those sorts of things. And of course, does it work? Don't know. Never tried it. I'm not going to jump off my bike to find out either. But it is better than what I've had before. The other thing it comes with is kind of a neck thing. We use neck warmers or a snood to keep the air from blowing down the front of the jacket. This jacket comes with its own, which you zip on around the neck, and it pushes upwards and velcros along so it stays under your chin. I've tried it. In the end I took it off. Got in my way. I'd much prefer just to wear a snood. And now let's get to those boots. They are Frank Thomas boots. They were an impulse purchase. I just happened to be walking around, you know what I mean? What can I say? I saw them and I thought, Now, the boots that I bought them to replace, I bought them off Amazon. I got a voucher from work because I'd been there for 25 years, so I had a fair amount of money that I could spend. And I used part of that money to buy a pair of boots off Amazon. The other part was used to buy the tank bag that I've got. The boots say they were waterproof, and I don't doubt that they are waterproof. Problem with them when they arrived is they got those buckles up the sides, which is great. I do like those buckles. The ones you just clip it in, push, click, and they're tight. There's no putting it through a little loop and sort of, like a belt or anything like that. It doesn't work like that. But I liked it. Problem with it, there was a split. Normally where you'd put a zip. And that was just it, just a split. So although the boots might be waterproof, if I paddled through a puddle of water looking to see if there's anything in there that I needed to worry about before I rode through, the water would just come in and I'd get soaking wet feet, which is not my idea of waterproof. So I had a look at these Frank Thomas boots and I opened them up, and yes, they had that vertical slit sealed, and they had the same kind of buckles around the ankles. Then they had a Velcro across the top. I was like, do you know what? I do actually like my Frank Thomas helmet. So maybe these boots will be alright as well. So I bought them. It also means I didn't do any research on them. And I did do a bit of research on it. People said that they fall apart. Mine haven't so far. I've had them for a couple of months. I did struggle to get the boot to go under the gear lever to begin with. It's getting better now. I can actually get the whole boot under the gear lever and make the gear change, but most of the time it doesn't quite get there. Give it a couple of months or so, it will do. Decent long ride will sort it out, I think. But they only cost me £70. The RST jacket cost me £250. Now those are the three things that I bought. I have three other things that I think I want to buy. Want a new pair of gloves. Mine are Dainese and they are waterproof, but they can be a bit chilly. I have got heated handlebar grips, but I still sometimes get a little bit chilly. And on a very, very long ride, in very, very heavy rain, they leak. I've got waterproof overgloves, but they're a bit awkward, you know. So I'm looking for a pair of Gore-Tex gloves. Don't know which ones I'm going to buy yet. I've seen some where they have a battery to heat gloves all over. I've seen some that are designed for, I would assume, Arctic conditions, because that's the name of the glove. But I don't know. I will research the gloves before I go and buy them. The other thing I want to buy is a new pair of trousers. Mine are somewhat old now, they're about 6 or 7 years old. there's a hole in the knee. So I'm going to buy a new pair. I don't know which ones to buy yet. It'll be a trip back to J&S and try something on. I want something preferably with a set of braces built in. So I'll probably get those in a month or so's time. And the other thing I want to buy is a comm kit. I need to make sure I get the right one for this helmet. It's not... I think there's a couple of different ones you can get that will fit it, but I want the Cardo version. And I know it's going to be expensive. It's going to be really expensive. The only other thing, just in passing, is that pin lock insert. I know how much they are, they're about £40. I can see them for sale on the Shoebear site, so I might go there. Alternatively, I could go to J&S and pick one up from there. So that's it, that's my new kit and my prospective new kit. See you next time.